So there we go, guys. This is how it goes for me. I got this all done yesterday. Got the bumpers all on. Got the apron installed. Got the seat put in there so I could give her a test drive. And I made it one block, and a brand new generator burned up. So we got a brand new generator here I bought about a year ago. Regulator and generator, and now it's not generating. So I tried to pull it out in the bus yesterday, and nope, not coming out in the bus. Got to pull the motor out. So I'm gonna have to pull the engine out this morning, take all this stuff off that I put on yesterday, and put a generator on it. I'm probably gonna go with an alternator because the generators are just total junk now. So that's a Bosch rebuilt from Triangle. I doubt they'll take it back again because I bought it a year ago. But got 0 miles on it, and I made it one block, and the light came on. It's always made noise ever since I put it on day one. It's been overcharging, and so I'll try a regulator before I pull the motor out and see if that fixes it, but with my luck I doubt that it will. Well, that's where we're at on that bus. I sold my Titan yesterday, and bought this for Hanz. So finally got him a 240, his dream car. It's got some tricky wheels on it. It's all coilovers and adjustable suspension. It's got a red top in it that went kaboom. So I had to build a little Nissan motor for him. It's got all Turbonetics blow-off valve and wastegate, and it's got a pretty decent exhaust manifold, cast iron on there, sort of a sheet metal type. And it's got a fuel management system under the hood, and it's got quite a bit of stuff. Got a good pump in the tank. Came with a tranny, a short shifter. What else did it come with? It's got a sunroof. It's got no rust on it at all, you know, that I can see. I crawled on it pretty heavy. Spare set of wheels in there. No radio, of course. But extra cluster. Some intake manifold parts. Go on, cat! And stuff like that. So I guess we'll be painting this and getting this ready for him to drive. Told him I was keeping the title till he graduated, so I put it in my name, and hopefully that'll get him through school. But he's smiling again, seems to be happy. So yeah, he finally got his car. Wonder how that is when you want something and you can't get it. So we were able to pick this up for him and get rid of the Nissan at the same time. So didn't do too bad on the Nissan. Got what I wanted for it. I sold the wheels off of it for $1,000 when I bought it. It had hoopties on it, so I got rid of those, some 27s. And yeah, the guy that bought it didn't even test drive it. Just went to the bank, made out the cashier. Well, he made cash, and took the cash, and he jumped in and drove off. So seemed to like the truck, which is good, I guess. And yeah, so I got one less car now, and a little bit of cash to finish some projects up, and can get Hans's car on the road probably, and get the Nova going, and this bus. So I got a brake leak in the front. The reservoir is leaking. The hose from the top reservoir to the master cylinder, the clamp seems to be bad, so I'm going to take care of that, buy some blue brake hose and replace the hard rubber line there, plastic line, whatever it is, and get a decent clamp on it. But yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm going to go ahead and get this yanked out. Spilled some Earl out of the air cleaner on the floor, and if I had a set of heads, I'd throw that 2110 together and put it in there. I'm really pissed off that I got to pull this motor back out of here. But what are you going to do? It just happens. So you have no control over the quality of the parts. And this is what we're dealing with, this kind of stuff right here. You know, this is a, I don't know if it's a remanufactured part or a new part. One or the other, you know, whether they remanufacture something or sell you something new, it should be tested on a bench somewhere and make sure that it properly works. But yeah, this crap with buying parts and having them sit on the shelf for a year or two, and you go throw them on a vehicle, you just can't stock parts anymore, is what this is turning out to be. You know, you have to let the the parts houses have the liability and keep the stuff in stock. Used to be, you know, when I worked for Scooter, we had a pretty good selection of anything we needed to work on cars, and we didn't have to worry about the time limit. You know, it was from the time you put it on the car, not from the time it sat on the shelf and you bought it. But the parts houses nowadays, when you buy it, it's yours, and you know, the 90 days is counting down. So that makes it sort of tough to build a project, because a lot of times when I get a project going, I'll buy all the expensive stuff up front, you know, the wheels, the tires, the stuff that I know I won't be able to afford at the end of the project. And when you do that, you leave yourself wide open for being responsible for all that stuff, because your warranty sort of runs out. But it's the same way with a carburetor. It's a brand new Solex, and it leaks down. You know, you start the motor up in the morning and it sounds sort of rough, because all the fuel from the carburetor is in the cylinders, or some of it, and it takes a minute for it to you know, burn that off. So I'm gonna have to address the carburetor issue, I guess, while the motor's out, and we'll do the alternator. I have a one-wire alternator. I think I'm gonna go ahead and eliminate that regulator and put the alternator on there. It's just a much more robust setup, and puts out more voltage and amperage. I should say the voltage is about the same, but the amperage is quite a bit different. So these are about 35 amps, 40 amps, I think, and the alternator are 55 or 90. So you get a lot more movement of the power, or power up the wire with the alternator. So that's where we're at with this one. Real bummer. I was going to take you guys for a ride. I had the camera with me, but I was so pissed off when the generator went bad, I didn't even make a video. I've got this brand new Bosch unit here, I think. I don't know, some sort of rebuilt generator. I might try to use that, but I hate to try something in a bus. And I hate to try a generator, because you just have to pull the motor out to change it, so it's just a pain in the butt. So, still got this piece of junk. This thing's gonna go bye-bye on the hook, because I'm done with it, and there's no funds to experiment. So once the funds run out, for experimental purposes, I'm not charging them labor. And you know, when I don't charge somebody labor on an electrical issue, they have to buy the parts that I'm suspecting that are bad. And I was going to try to get a ignition module for under the coil, because this thing does start up and run for 5 seconds, and then it shuts the injectors off, is what's going on now. This has fuel pressure when it shuts off, and it's got spark, but it just shuts the injectors off. And yeah, so my buddy Kenny was over here, and he said that painless wiring makes the wiring harness to completely bypass that security VAT system. And he said the VAT system's up under the dash. It's about the size of a pack of cigarettes. It's located up by the windshield there, and I guess the painless wiring kit totally eliminates that out of the wiring harness. But of course, that would require cash to buy, and this guy's looking to sell the car rather than, you know, he wants to know what he can get for it broken instead of fixed. So we're gonna get some serious rain today again. Got like I don't know, it's hard to believe, but it rained for less than an hour yesterday, and we got like 5 or 6 inches of rain here in my rain gauge. So that's a pretty substantial amount of waterfall, but it's good for us because we're on a well, and it makes the green grass green and stuff like that. So I got my grass cut and the neighbor's grass cut yesterday. I had to cut that over there. I ran out of gas, and they'll crash me on. And yeah, so we got to do something with this. We'll start working on this as soon as they get the bus running and up and going. This will be our next little project. We'll throw a paint job on this and get it running for him. So I told him I'd paint it first, do the engine bay. He wants to paint the engine bay, and he wants it charcoal gray with the top black, and we'll get that knocked out because there's not a whole lot of body work on this one. I made sure to get something that was halfway straight, so he can be the first one to run it into the wall, you know. So there we go. We got the Nissan. I need a T03 turbo. I got a T04. I think it's too big for this. And yeah, he's got the blow off valve and the fuel management system. They had a plumb blow through on this, and I'll have to buy a smaller turbo for sure. All my stuff's a little too big, but we'll give him a little TO3 Turbonetics setup for this. And I like the Turbonetics stuff. I sort of use that on my car and have really good luck with their stuff, so we'll go with that. It's probably better turbos out there. I don't know. They seem to work really good for me. That's why I like to use Turbonetics, and I got all their products on this car, and have never had a turbo failure once, ever, never, in 10-15 years of racing turbo cars. So that's got a lot to be said. You always step up for more power, but I've never had a failure yet. So Turbonetics makes a pretty tough turbo. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. Keep this sort of short, 10-minute update here, 11 minutes. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll try to get some footage of the footage. I got to get the bug back on the road today, throwing the tag back on that, because one car is not going to work for this family, not even two. So I might pull that hood off and throw some Bondo on that and straighten that out before I put it back on the road. But Hanz will be driving that for a while till we get this running. And yeah, so I'll spend the day with Andrea today. She's got 2 more days off before she goes back to work, and we're gonna have to ride to the parts store together and get some stuff for the bus. It's just becoming a common theme. But anybody that's had a project that you're finishing up, seems like you spend more time at the parts store right at the end, you know. Parts store, hardware store, all that stuff. So I do have a letter I got yesterday. I got a letter from Mark Sponge, so I'm gonna do a mail call video a little later today. Open that up, see what kind of goodies we got in there. I haven't got a sticker in a long time. I was sort of excited to get a piece of mail yesterday. It's been a long time since I got mail. And yeah, I got to make some letters up still and send them out. I wrote some letters, and I've got, you know, about 100 more to go. People that have sent me letters and stuff. I'm trying to return everybody's letter that they sent last year. Over the last 2 or 3 years, if you sent a letter, you'll probably be getting something from me in the mail. But I've been working on that, and yeah. So Mark, I'll get that opened up. We'll do a little mail call later, but I did want you to know that I did show up from the UK. So yeah. And yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention was this cam gear on this distributor. I did not put this on. This motor came in this way. I acquired this thing blown up, and you can see it was only riding on the cam, not much of the gear. So you can put the gear on backwards and it obviously will still work. I don't know if that might have contributed to some of this guy's demise, but if you remember, the main bearings were pretty wasted in that motor that this distributor came out of. So we'll get that flopped around, and we won't put it in upside down on our project. So I just thought that was funny that I'd show you guys that. Here's the old drag link. I got that changed out yesterday. She drives like a Cadillac now, but yeah, now she's just not charging. All right, guys, make the best out of it. Definitely not a John Kerry day here. John Kerry, wherever you are in your travels, I hope everything's going good and you're safe. And enjoy those Jaguar videos, so keep putting them up. And Betty's looking good. So it won't be long before we're going for a ride in that car. All right, guys, make it a great day. Do the best you can, and get out in that garage and push the record button.